Hello there. So I recently did a long distance walk all the way down the west side of Manhattan. So it's about 15 miles. And it was an interesting, I did it with a group, and it was an interesting experience, mainly for the concept of variability. So the question came up of, it's like, basically, why do your feet hurt after a while of walking? And there's a few different reasons, but a main thing to think about, it's like a repetitive use injury. We have constructed our world in a way where everything is creating the same shape of your foot. Now, our foot is supposed to be really malleable and adaptable. It has 33 joints in it, and you can think of it as like a little biocomputer that every time you step on something on the ground, it is sending to your brain, in a way, a map of what it is you're stepping on. So you can actually create a mental picture of the ground by feeling the shape of your foot. So the problem arises when there are, that's actually not what I want to talk about. Hello there. So I recently did a long distance walk with a group all the way down the west side of Manhattan. So it's about 14 miles. And one of the biggest takeaways I got from it was the need for variability. And the issue is that we as a society are setting ourselves up for repetitive use injuries. And you might have heard these from work environments or people who do a single sport all the time, such as running. When you do the same motion of your body over and over and over again, the body tends to break down faster because we're designed to move in a myriad of different ways, and by moving only in one direction, the muscles that move that way are going to fatigue and get tired, and the joints and the ligaments, and they're all going to get the same strain put on them over and over again, that they're going to adapt to that direction, and they're also going to probably be overloaded. And in the short term, you start to feel sore or tired, and in the long term, you might end up with some injuries. And so that especially happens with the feet. And the reason it's problematic in our society is because we have created a dearth of sensory input for our feet in our society. So what do I mean by that? I mean that our feet are developed, our feet are designed to move in tons of different directions, just like our hands are. And each different shape of your foot changes our sense of balance and changes the muscles being used in the feet all the way up in the legs. But unfortunately, we've created an environment that is completely flat and level most of the time. I mean, you can see this floor behind me is just, flat level floor, and most everything we walk on is like that. In fact, even we think of it now as a liability if there's, say, a crack in a sidewalk. And although there's some merit to that, you might be asking, are we taking away all the changes in our environment so much that our body begins to suffer? And another thing that's doing that for us is our shoes. So when we wear the same shoe all the time, our foot is experiencing the same surface. And again, we're not getting any changes in the joints of our feet, and we're not getting any feedback to help us adjust our balance and change our muscular usage. And so what we found in this long distance walk was two things. It was the more we added variability, either into our walking gait, by consciously changing how we walked, or just the surface we were walking on. Maybe we shifted from the sidewalk onto some grass, if there was grass on the side. It made walking itself feel better. And a few people even had an extra pair of shoes, and that helped, because halfway through, they might have changed their shoes, and then they got a whole different sensory feedback there, which made completing the whole walk a lot easier. So what can we do about this? One, you can, really be conscious of the surfaces you're walking on. So if you're walking around on a shoe all day long, and then you come home, do you immediately put on some indoor shoe like a slipper? And ask yourself, are you depriving your feet of some real necessary stretch and changes that they need by doing that? You can create an exercise around it. And so that's what I want to show today, is you can actually set up environments in your home to stimulate more motions of the feet. And what we're doing essentially is trying to recreate natural terrain, because out in nature, if you say, like in the forest and wherever that's not man-made, you get all sorts of different contours and terrain and sticks and rocks and bumps and surfaces that are constantly changing. And those constant changes change the shape of our feet. So in a artificial environment, say at home, you can do this. You can create some surfaces you want to walk on. And so what I've done is I've created a few different examples. One is I can be, I'm just walking on a padded floor now, but then I can set up a row of towels, for example. And this just gives you some exercise, something to play with. Is each time you step on something, you can sort of feel how that changes, the shifts of your ankles, and how the bones of your feet and the muscles of your feet have to change. As you step on a foot, you can notice, can you balance? You can play with that in an uneven surface. As you step onto each uneven surface, you can check out, can you still move and wiggle your toes? So towels and pillows is a great game to play with yourself or with others. If you have kids, it's great. This is a half cylinder. This is that exercise piece of equipment here. I flip it over so that I have the rocking side underneath, the flat side on top, and I can step on that and give myself some ability to kind of feel the shifts through my hip, my ankle, my knee, into the foot. And again, notice what changes. Where's my weight? Is it over the ball of the foot? Is it over your heel? Can I wiggle and move my toes? The more mobility the toes have, I feel that you'll probably have some more longevity in your ability to walk longer distances. And this one's my favorite. This is setting up, just gathering some stones. These are just some little river stones. You can actually get these in nature, of course, or at like a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot. And set them out on the floor, or I like to just create a little space on a little floor mat and start to take a walk over the stones. And this is a real great way to get some deep feedback into the feet, because the feet have to start to conform and mold over the shape of the stones. And the same thing you can play with. Each time you step down, you can see, where's your balance? Are you able to move and wiggle your toes? Can you keep your toes free and not gripping like claws? Can not only you let your foot conform, but actually get some muscular feedback through that and lift up too. So it's not just collapsing into the stones, but you get some little support as well. You can balance on the foot. You can just keep walking back and forth. And there's really an endless amount of opportunities you can play with. And could we start to design even our homes so that there's more opportunity for movement? And so that's something to play with and think about as you move throughout your day. And of course, the best way to get it, or the most natural way to get it, is going out into nature and take off your shoes and walk around on uneven surfaces and let it conform your feet. And I assume you'll start to find you can walk farther and with more ease. All right, have fun with that. I will see you next time. Bye.